results? How did you sort of review everything? Have you sort of gone through where it went right and where it went wrong?
Yeah, I think obviously the first half of the season, those first 5 or 6 games, we weren't at the best of ourselves, and then to be trending downwards at that point in time, and then to really trend up, and the style of footy just by the eye, and also the numbers tell us we were absolute top end of the comp in those last 5 weeks. And so there's like this real disappointment and edge to missing out on finals and not playing right now. And there's also this incredible belief of what we're very clear on what we're capable of, and we produced some exceptionally good footy in the second half of the year.
Given it's such a young group, is it? Obviously, it's not a lesson you want to learn, but almost a good one in that you have that amazing run to the prelim the year before, and you just off slightly at the start, and it costs you dearly. That'll sort of burn over the next off season and pre-season.
Yeah, the burn is fresh for sure, and we also know we've got the youngest list in the comp this year, and the third lowest games played together as a group. And so despite that, the form we were in a week and a half ago and beyond, and a month previous to that, is exceptional. And so I think you hear a lot, you're losing or you're learning, and we don't always want to learn in that fashion. But I think the lessons will set us up for success. And certainly what I'm very pleased with our group around our coaches and our players in responding to that downward trend at that halfway point of the year. We saw some teams in a similar position go one way, and we saw ourselves with enormous amounts of work in connection and on the field. And I think 2 years of a really tough off-season period for our players and working hard together. You see that start to pay off and put belief in and trust in the group over the next 6 months, that when we do get back together formally, we've put more hard work in together. As a coaching group, we plan more strongly and add better layers of Team D. I think that will help the group and really attack 2026.
How do you make sure, I guess, when you do attack 2026 and when you do start playing games, you don't have this slow start to the season?
Yeah, it's something we've spoken about in review, and obviously it's only been a week and a half since we played the Giants. But I do think it's important to add layers of Team D and also reflection around high performance. Like we've been, as the last wave of expansion, we've been catching up and chasing and trying to close a gap in terms of high performance and bits and pieces of repeat high speed and what we're capable of against the best teams in terms of running out the game. And I think you would have seen that over the last year and a half. Our group has closed that gap, especially this year. And we beat 3 of the teams in that second half of the year. We beat 3 teams who are still playing finals right now. So high performance gap, I believe, is closed, and that's through an incredible amount of work, hard work from our players, and Anthony Gallamarino in particular is our high performance manager. And now it's like looking at, do we need to load up as heavily across the entire pre-season in terms of training load? Can we look at ways to be a little bit fresher coming into the start of the year?
Do you need to add to the list?
We'll have 3 list spots over the next period of time. So, yeah, obviously the rules say that we need to draft 2 players minimum. And I believe there's a pre-season draft period coming next year, which we don't have all the details on from the AFL just yet. But, I do want to acknowledge the players that have left our program, been incredible contributors, all of them, to our club. And, obviously between Janelle Cuthbertson retiring, Alyssa Brooke, Jazz Stewart and Kobe Morgan, who didn't get an opportunity to play a game this year, they've all been incredible amongst our playing group, and I do want them to know that they've been significant contributors to our team.
It was a hard decision with Jazz, because in the showdown she played so well.
Yeah.
She hadn't played that many games this year. What kind of went on there?
Yeah, really tough one. Obviously a deep midfield and players fighting for spots through that period, and she's shown a real ability to play at this level, and I do hope she gets another opportunity.
Did you watch the weekend? Can you watch finals footy? And how did that magnify your burn that you spoke about?
Yeah, the burn is burning currently. I watched a little bit here and there. I also put some time in with family that haven't necessarily had over the last half a year. So, yeah, I think, even a few texts between other people at other clubs who are playing finals, there's some significant belief that we would be able to do some damage at this point in time, and also a clear understanding that we didn't do enough in the first half of the year to have that opportunity.
Where do you look at where the list is at? You said so young, but do you feel like it can, prelim last year, but it can actually, compete with the top teams of the competition, next year?
Yeah, I think our list is in a really strong position. And we also go into a draft on December 15 with an eye to adding bits and pieces. And I think, there's an element that still needs to unfold in terms of delisted free agents and those types of things that evolve over the next month or so. So there's a little bit of work to do, and also it has only been a week and a half since we played the Giants in round 12.
Yeah, would you look at trying to get an experienced body to replace Arnell, especially in defence?
I think we've got a really strong back line. It's possible we might need some more depth there with Indy becoming the league leading goal kicker this year, which is something we should talk about too. I think having Indy Tahoe as the league leading goal kicker, having played the first 2.5 weeks as a defender, coming off an ACL return, and Gemma Houghton being second in the comp is enormous. So we're really, really happy with that. And also for Matilda Scholes, alongside the two of them, to be nominated All-Australian is incredible achievement for our young group. And it will, to your question around trade and draft, I think that needs to evolve over the next period of time.
Is it a delicate balance next year? You play the most exciting brand of footy, arguably, in
Thank
the
you.
comp, and you've got two of the leading goal kickers. So is it a delicate balance as you tied it up on that team D that you don't want to lose? What makes you such a fun and exciting team?
Yeah, absolutely right, Josh. I think it's important that we evolve our Team D, and certainly the numbers of how we measure it, two very different stories from first 6 games to the second 6 games. I think we always want to be an exciting team to watch. I really enjoy getting that feedback from around the country on how we play, and we'll continue to do that. And we also need to tighten up our Team D. That's core to our process next year, and I think we can get some good wins. And it's something, again, I've spoken about a lot in the last 3.5 years, is chasing a team that plays a finals brand of footy, which you would see that we do. And now we tighten up our Team D to help that and minimise that score against.
What are you getting so right in your player development? You look at the under-22 squad again, you're the best represented, and you're the third youngest team in the comp. What are you getting right when these young players come to the club and are able to flourish quickly?
Yeah, it's certainly by design, and you look to Naomi Maidman as our list manager, and the wave of expansion that we came in. We had 6 weeks when I moved to Adelaide to build this playing list, and so there's been an enormous amount of change through our playing list until this period of time. And this year, to have minimal changes, and there's forced changes with AFL rules too, which we didn't necessarily want to have to do. We have to have two draft picks going into this year's draft, and so it's certainly by design to build a young group up, and it's meant that a lot of our training time, the high performance gap closing has been a really important part with the young group, and now it's like we've been putting huge amounts of time at training into contest, understanding each other's weapons in game style. And I believe that last piece is Team D, and other programs do it in a different way. They've chased Team D, a little bit of contest, and now they're trying to find offense, where I'm really pleased with where our group is at. We know we've got the offensive and the contest weapons to win finals, but we do need to help the scoreboard with stronger Team D and a stronger model.
Who are some of the younger players you're going to look for to step up and continue to grow over going into 2026?
Yeah, I mean, the whole list is incredibly young, and I've been really pleased with a lot of the individual growth. And our last review meeting as a program last week, I asked everyone to stand up who'd played more than one role on field this year, and I think 2 players were sitting down. We've seen enormous growth. Sinead Goody is one who spent the whole pre-season on a wing all of last year. It was her first year in the comp on a wing, and then went inside from about round 3 onwards, and has shown just enormous capacity to grow and a great attitude. Ash Woodland's added inside mid to the main role as well as a forward. Matilda Scholes has shown increasing capacity to go forward. I think she'll only get better in that space. And Indy Tahoe as well. So, I'm really excited. I think I don't want to miss Ella Heads in that also. She's been asked to play 3 different roles this year, and she's done it to an exceptionally high level as a new player in our team. So, I'm really excited about the versatility that we have in our side, and I have enormous trust in our players in this off-season period, which really is a 6-month period of time.
Lauren Young, you also got to see her actually play
Yep.
W this year. I mean, the growth of her as well is something you'd be very excited about going forward.
Yeah, and lots of Lauren's growth is behind the cameras and behind that on field. She's spent so much time working away every single day at her return from the knee, and she's grown so much as a person on and off field, and I think there's only really great things ahead for Lauren. I think if you work hard enough, good things come your way, and she'll be the epitome of that.
Is she a forward long term? Can she play midfield?
Yeah, I mean, you've got me going about versatility, and I certainly think it's important with 30 on a list and 16 on the field. Yeah, look, I think long-term Lauren can play higher up the ground, and it will just be a question of her capacity and how quickly you accelerate that with her running. But yeah, she's certainly got some enormous contest weapons. She's spent an enormous amount of time in the gym in our program, and so she's super strong, and she's a very smart footballer.
How can the competition improve next year from a sort of administrative point of view and the way it's run? And what would you change if you could?
My head's been very... look, in terms of competition-wise, I'll be honest, my head's been in this program here at Port Adelaide. So, yeah, without notice, I can honestly say I haven't put a lot of thought into league-wide right now.
Do you feel like it's in a good spot, though, in terms of, I mean, you're talking about the pre-season draft and not knowing what that looks like, in terms of clarity and planning?
Yeah.
The clubs have enough to work with as they plan for the season, obviously.
Yeah, I think it's improving as we go, and certainly the fixture dates are already out, which is an enormous help in terms of how we plan our pre-season. Yeah, I'll be really interested in the wildcard round. Yeah, I think having a 12-round fixture, I think a wildcard round becomes even more relevant in AFLW. So that's the piece I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, you know, whether that gets added next year or the year after or the year after that, I'd love to see that in AFLW.
How far ahead of North Melbourne for the rest of the competition? There's somebody's actually seen them. Like, how many are they like years ahead in a way? Like, yeah.
We're looking forward to playing North Melbourne next year. Yeah.
Sound like years to me.
No, very much looking. Yeah, I think North have set the standard over the last 2 years in particular, and even prior to that, you know, they were building as a program from day one, and they've had enormous experience on their playing list. And I think Darren Crocker's coached them exceptionally well. I love the style of footy they play, and yeah, I can't wait to have another go at them next year.